Morning everybody and welcome to Sharing Sunday with me, Helen Armstrong from Pandra Pop's Crafting Joyful Moments. I'm an independent demonstrator based in Wilmslow, Cheshire. I have started to run some craft classes from my craft room here in Wilmslow, so if you're interested, please get in contact. Okay, so what we're doing today, well, I'm making a bit of a fun fold card using the Sweet Bug set from Stampin Up. This is, I say I've put it in the wrong folder. It's not a January to March online exclusive. It was in our January to May catalogue. It is a really, really fun suite. Lots of bugs. It's great for birthday cards, great for lovely spring cards that we have at the moment. So that's what we're going to be using, and I'll show you that in just a second. But first of all, Sharing Sunday. So this is the sort of thing I've been making this week. It's a real mix. This was done for the Global Design Project this week. These were, this one was part of Last Chance Friday and Fussy Cut Friday, because this paper, Gathering Together paper, is on Last Chance at the moment. I think it's about £11.20 for a pack of 12x12 DSP. I took part in a session with Creatively Yours this week, and that was one of the cards that was made. Again, another one from the Last Chance Friday, Fussy Cut Friday. Yeah, I've even done a leaf on the back. This one's using the Sweet Bug set. And then these are the Easter cards that I made. Some of you will already have seen that reel. I just did a little bit one step further. I stamped the back with my bunny and also the envelope as well. Okay, so you've seen these. These are done in purple. I did them in lemon lolly, balmy blue. Sorry, that's the inside of the card. Balmy blue and timid tiger. Yeah, I think just adding that little bit of touch on the envelope just draws it all together. And on the back. Okay, let's put those to one side and let's show you the paper from the Sweet Bug set. So what the dies do, if you can see, we've got all these dies, and these dies cut out all the shapes that are on here. So let me just show you. So I use the die to cut out this one there. The dies cut out the little ants. They also cut out this little guy here. And our reading bug are these flowers, and also it cuts out our bee. But you'll also notice when we look at these things, I've fussy cut, you know me for my fussy cutting, so I have fussy cut out a few other bits and pieces that we can use going forward. I've also used fussy cut one of the other butterflies from one of the other sheets that we'll see. The die for this particular watering can is this one here. Now it doesn't keep the water, and I like the water, so I actually just fussy cut it around that as well. Okay, let's move these to one side and we'll look at the paper. It is a gorgeous paper. Just making sure I've got all my bits. Okay, so you get 2 sheets of each of the papers. So this one is the gorgeous bugs, which obviously you can use the dies to cut out, and that's the back of them. Oh, using my little ant. These 2 sheets have scenes on them, and actually I've used these on the cards. The one I did yesterday to show you, I've got used this one. This morning's one uses this one, and it uses the back of that sheet. This is a lovely one where you can cut things out, fussy cut round. create little scenes on a card. And that's the back of that one. Yeah, this is where I cut the butterfly out. And I've actually cut this stem out here as well. Like a pretty picnicky background. This is one of my favourites, and I have used it as a background on one of a couple of cards. And that comes again with like a checkerboard picnic rug type background. The dies, although they don't cut out these mushrooms, do have mushrooms that you can use to cut out. But the stamps themselves, what you can do is you can stamp them, colour them in, and build a scene with these if you wanted to, absolutely. And those dies will cut out those shapes. Okay, and that's the last one, which is a gorgeous checker picnic paper. The colours in this set are, there's loads. So we've got black, blackberry wrist, Cajun craze, cloud cover, crushed curry, daffodil delight, mossy meadow, old olive, pecan pie, poppy parade, pumpkin pie, and very vanilla. So a massive choice to choose from. Okay, so this is the card that we're doing today. Or rather, I'm doing a little bit of a, just a different way of doing it. Same sort of thing, but just different background and edging here. So it does lie flat to post, and it fits inside a DL sized envelope. So it does fit in there to post. It will be a little bit bulky, so you might end up paying a little bit extra postage, but well, it shouldn't be that much. So yeah, so we're using this. Sorry, excuse my croakiness this morning. So we're using a 3-stepped process with the background. It's really, really quite pretty and really nice. Okay, what will you need? So you will need these measurements. So if you wanted to take a screenshot at this point, you can do. And then we'll get started. Right, okay, so I have all my little bits that I cut out, fussy cutted, and also using the dies. I don't know why I'm so croaky this morning. Let me just take a drink. It could be I forgot to put my air purifier on last night, and it is the start of hay fever season for me. So it could just be that. Okay, so that paper that we used, let me just find it again. Here we go. So I have cut this one out and trimmed it down, and I've used the back of this sheet as well to create the background and the layers that are going on the steps of the card. So the first thing I'm going to do is layer these, stick them down. So we'll need our glue for that. So I hope you're all okay today. I think, as I say, I'm starting to get a little bit of hay fever. Unfortunately, it is that time of year. Let's layer that on. Trying to get it so you get an even border all the way around. Okay, not managed that brilliantly. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to stick our bugs on. So the weather isn't improving in the UK currently, considering we are at the end of March. The temperatures are really quite cold and we've got more wind and rain on the way. Yeah, it seems winter does really not want to leave us just yet, unfortunately. And trying to make sure that we even it out. Just going to push that into the crease. Here we go. Okay. Does not want to stay in the crease. Let me just that's it. Perfect. Right, okay, so the next thing I'm going to do does not want to stay in there. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the paper to our steps. So I've cut 3 different sizes. So the shortest being 7¼ inches by 1½ inches, and I have scored at ½ inch on either side. So all I'm going to do when I cut this, all I did is I cut it 1/4 inch less, I think I did, on either side. It might have even been hot. No, 1/4 inch looks like. So all I'm going to do is I am going to put it on, and then I'm going to trim off the edges. I'm actually going to put my glue on the card bit. Probably too much glue. You don't need a lot of glue. Yep, too much glue, it's seeping out the side. Okay, let me just grab that with my finger. Okay, now we're going to use our scissors, and we're just going to trim the edges. There's one. Fold in my side bits. I'm doing it outside the thing that we're going to need. Never mind. You know, some days when your brain just isn't working. I think today's one of those days for me. I don't think it's helped that the clocks have gone forward here in the United Kingdom this morning. So we've lost an hour of sleep. And I don't sleep very well normally, but losing an hour is not really good. But it is what it is. It will even itself out over the next week. It normally takes me about a week for it to even out. Hopefully it might be a little bit less. I don't think I've cut this one quite right, but well, let's go with it. Okay. So whilst I'm doing this, it would be really nice that if you do like this video, if you're watching it on Facebook, if you could go onto YouTube and watch it on YouTube, or even just go onto YouTube and like it and subscribe. It really does help with the channel and growing the channel. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now start layering these. So what you're going to do is you're going to put glue on the strips that the half inch strips that we've got on either side, and we're going to try and make sure that we're centering it. So we've got enough space for the other two to go on. I'm just going to move that down ever so slightly. Okay, so that's our first one. And you can see when we move our card, we can get a little bit of a bow. If you wanted it to bow even more, you can use your scissors. So what you can do is just run it along your scissors, and you can start to curve it before you stick it down. So we start with the widest one first, then we go for the next one. Okay, I'm going to stick that down. Bring it down a tad. Okay, and then we have our final one. Okay, so that is there are our steps. So when you open up the card, you've got those steps all ready to go. Okay, so I'm just going to put it down flat again. Move our little bits out of the way. And we're going to start decorating. So we've got lots of different ones that we can use, but one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to do the bits that we need to stick onto acetate to look as if they're flying. Let me just find those bits, and we also need our birthday sentiment. So I've gone for the happiest birthday wishes. Okay, and I think I'm going to actually put it over to one side over here. I did it on the other side, but let's just maybe do that. But first of all, we are going to do a little bit of blending just to take that white off so it's not as stark. I like just taking the edges off. Okay. All right, we're going to add, I think, one of our little mushrooms that we cut out. The dies also cut out these little mushrooms as well, which are great. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue just to one side. There we go, perfect. All right, let's now put our acetate on the back. I'm going to use glue dots to put our the acetate on. I find it sticks a lot better. So I'm just going to peel those off. And stick our little butterfly on. Ensuring that the acetate doesn't show at the top. I'm going to just trim that down. So I'm going to have her hovering, I think, just here. So I'm going to trim that to there. And let's add our bee. So those of you who have been watching my videos will know that Stampin' Up have got their new catalogue coming out in May. So it'll be the May to August catalogue. And if you're in the UK and would like a copy, please don't hesitate to get in touch. You can message me, private message me if you want to, or just leave a comment in the comments down below the video, and I will send you a copy of the latest catalogue. Okay. Right. Let's just trim that down. So let's see where we're going to place these bits first. I think I might actually have that coming out here. So let's stick some glue dots at the bottom. I'm going to place, as long as it doesn't go off, you can make sure that it doesn't go off the side of the card. Let's have it there, or shall we put it in the layer behind? Maybe the layer behind. Making sure that we take our glue dot back off. Stick it in that layer behind, I think. Yeah, better, I think. Right, okay, happy with that. You could put it in the middle as a focal point, but I think I like having the bee as the focal point. Let's just trim a bit off the bottom. Okay, and let's get our butterfly and our bee in. Okay. And then we can build the rest of the card. It is up to you how you do this. You can wherever you want to place these. And let's have our bee at the back. Okay, so we have those layers. I'm just going to trim. There's a tiny bit sticking out the bottom. Okay, so we now have our layers which are hovering. And now we're going to build up the rest of the card. So on this one, I did a mixture of flowers, bugs, and I like this big caterpillar type one. But I've actually cut him out in purple this time. So I think I might actually stick him there. I've got my flowers, so I might do one on each layer. Let's do that. So as you notice, me, who's normally a glue girl, is actually using glue dots this morning. I'm not 100% sure why, but when I was doing these cards yesterday, I really quite enjoyed the, okay, using the glue dots. So I'm continuing today. So you just need a couple, just to ensure that they stick. So we're going to layer that here. So just give like almost a 3D effect with the flowers, and our last one will go here. There you go. So we have our 3 flowers, giving that little bit. Oh, just realised I haven't punched that bit out. There we go. That looks a bit better. Our 3 flowers. Let's add our caterpillar. So our caterpillar, and then you can decide what else to add. Now, I have, which I fussy cut out, a little ladybird in with a flower. So I think I might just put that one there. Put a little ladybird there. Okay. Have a couple of ants. Let me just see what else we have. So I think I will put our little one there again, just so our bee is maybe playful and dropping some water on the top of their head. So we can see that one there. I might just move my butterfly now a little bit. There we go. Just move that ever so slightly, or even a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to need to find my watering can and stick it to my bee. This one I am going to just use a dab of glue. I think I'm going to have to re-stick my, and move her across a little bit. There we go. Yes, so we're watering the bee. The bee is watering our little bug here. And then we just need something more on the focal point here. So we have a number of things that we can use. I have some more mushrooms somewhere, which I think I might put down just here. And then I think we might have our little bee reading their book just here. Or maybe just slap behind there. And then we have some little ants, which I didn't use in the first one, which we could space out. Okay. As I say, it is up to you how you build this card. yeah, take your time, enjoy, have fun with this one. Let's put our ants on. I do love the tiny little ant that we have in this set. It's just very, very cute. And let's put our mushrooms. I'm actually just going to put them over here. Okay, and that is our card. I hope you enjoyed watching me make this. Please do make some of these cards. They're great. What you could do is at the back, which is what I did do here. Let's just finish that off. I added some more of our green. I need a little bit more of the green. And you can just either stamp your sentiment or handwrite your sentiment. It's up to you. Just again takes away some of that stark whiteness. If you notice, I'm just blending off to the side first before coming on. Just takes, if I've picked up any dark ink. Okay, let's think what we can put on this one. I'm actually going to pick up and I'm going to use, not sure what kind of bug this is, but it's interesting. So let's stick this on. Just dabs of glue. Okay. Oh, flipped it over. So there we go. There's the back. And there's the front. As I said, hope you enjoyed these two cards. Yeah, try and give them a go. Here's the dimensions again. Have a play, maybe do it with a different kind of paper. You can do it with any papers, to be honest, any background paper would do. I think I might make one this afternoon with our lovely Blossoms paper and see how that turns out. So yeah, enjoy making these. And as always, craft your joy, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend and enjoy the week coming up. All right, take care. Bye.